Hello class, I'm working out of your Fundamentals of Math book 4.3, Comparing and Ordering. So if you are asked to compare two fractions, and those fractions look like 6/9 and 7/12, you're going to use inequality symbols greater than or less than to compare. Also, you need to rename inequivalent fractions. To rename an equivalent fractions, you need a like denominator. Use your knowledge of finding the least common multiple to find a like denominator for 9 and 12. So break that down in the factoring trees that you know. Remember, we use the highest power factor to multiply together to find the first multiple both 9 and 12 come to. This would rename as 3 squared. And these would rename as 2 squared times 3. So addressing all our 2 factors, our highest power of 2's is 2 squared. Addressing all our 3 factors, the highest power of 3 is 3 squared. Multiply the highest power factors together from your factor trees. 2 squared renames as 4. 3 squared renames as 9. That's 36. We've found our new denominator for these 2 fractions. So now we determine, how does 9 get to 36? Okay, 9 times 4 becomes 36. If you multiply the denominator by 4, you need to multiply the numerator by 4. It's like what we've talked about. 4 over 4 equals 1, so you're not changing the value of 6/9 by multiplying by 4 over 4 and the identity property. 6 times 4 is 24 on top. Now we have a new equivalent fraction for 6/9. Okay, how does 12 get to 36? Times 3. Multiply the numerator times 3 as well. 7 times 3 is 21. In comparison, 24 of 36 parts is greater than 21 of 36 parts. So 6/9 is greater than 7/12. That inequality sign just transfers to your original given fractions. Okay, if you're given a word problem and you have to build your fractions, it might look like this. Solomon wrote 3 of 39 books of the Old Testament. 3 of 39 total. This is Solomon. Luke wrote 2 of the 27 books of the New Testament. 2 of 27 total. This is Luke. I'm going to compare by looking at our fractions in much the same way as our last example. And our question is, which, Solomon or Luke, of the 2 wrote a greater proportion of the books? So we're looking for the greatest valued fraction. In our LCM, let's break down 39 and 27. This is 3 and 13 in the prime factors. This would be 3 times 9, 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the 3rd power. 3 times 13 here. Let's look for the greatest power of 3's first. 3 to the 3rd power. We addressed all our 3's. The greatest power of the factor left over is just 13 to the 1st power. We addressed all our factors. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 3 is 27. 3 to the 3rd power is 27 times 13 And we have to do some margin work for that. So we do some margin work and we say, okay, I need to do 27 times 13. We work that out. We get 351. 351 now becomes our new denominator in the fractions that we want to compare with like denominators. We found that from the least common multiple. Now we have to decide how many times 39 goes into 351 and 27 goes into 351. So we divide. $39 will fit into 351 quite a lot, so we might start with 9. Work that out. Okay, so we get 9. That means 39 times 9 creates 351 in value. If we multiply the denominator by 9, excuse me, then we need to multiply the numerator by 9, and that's 3 times 9 is 27. How many times does 27 fit into 351? Didn't we just do that work here in the margin? So 27 times 13 fits into 300, or becomes 351. 2 times 13 on the top is 26. 27 351st is greater than 26 351st. So in our original given problems, 339 is greater than 2 27ths. Who wrote the greater proportion of books? Solomon. Okay. If we are asked to compare by cross multiplication, and we are given 3/4 and we are asked to compare to 7/8, we start by top to bottom and multiply. So on this side we are going to have 3 times 8 when we start in this process. On the other side we will have 4 times 7. We're going to be comparing those. So we had 3 times 8 is 24 compared to 4 times 7 is 28. We can see what emerges. 24 is less than 28. So 3/4 compared to 7/8. This less than sign transfers in the comparison box. 3/4 is less than 7/8. If you start your process from top to bottom, so keep that in mind. It's a detail that your 3 times 8 needs to stay on the left side of your equal sign, and it will match the 3/4 side, and your 7/8 side is on the other side of the equal sign. That'll match your 4 times 7 side. So match what you're doing and start correctly in this process. It's super important. Whenever you are asked to compare 17/18 and 19/20. Okay, so we were going to have 17 times 20 on this side of the comparison box, and then 18 times 19 on the other side of the comparison box. You'll have to do some work in the margin to multiply. So 17 times 20, we're going to have 0, 0, place value holder, 14, 340, 340 on this side. compared to 18 times 19. So work that out. $342 on the side. 340 is less than 342. So that transfers all the way up. In comparison, 17/18 is less than 19/20. If you are asked to write mixed numbers from least to greatest, such as 2 and 2/3, 2 and 1/4, 2 and 5/6. The 2 is the whole number. The fractions we need to work with individually to compare them. So again, we're thinking least common multiple of 3, 4, and 6. So 3 is done, 4 is 2 times 2, and 6 is 2 times 3. Use one of each factor in its highest power. So what do we have? Well, we have 2 squared here, 2, 3, and 3. 2 squared is our highest power for the 2's, and 3 to the first power is the highest power for the 3's, and that is 4 times 3 is 12. Our new like denominator for each fraction will be 12. 2 can go out here in front. 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 on top is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 on top is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 2 on top is 10. Now we can compare the fractions more easily with like denominators. Alright, so we're going to say in order 2 and 3/12 comes first. This one comes first. 2 and 8/12 comes second. And 2 and 10/12 comes third. But we're going to use our original given amounts to compare and order them in least to greatest. So 2 and 1/4 matches 2 and 3/12, so it comes first. We've addressed this one. 2 and 2/3 is next. We've addressed this one. And 2 and 5/6 is the greatest number. We've addressed this one. I like to mark out what I've addressed to organize my work. We have listed these mixed numbers in order from least to greatest based on their fraction value. If you are asked to locate something like 3 and 2/3 on a number line, there are values between 3 and 4. And we're working with the denominator 3, so ideally you'd use a ruler and equally mark thirds in your number line. I'm going to eyeball it here. It's going to be approximate. We have 3 on its way to 4 with 3 equal parts. We want 2 of the 3 parts to be marked on the number line. So 3 and 1/3, 3 and 2/3. Marks here on this number line between 3 and 4. You do need to mark your 3 and 4. because there are an infinite amount of values that you could mark on your number line otherwise. So be precise. Alright, if you're asked to use a number line to compare 2/5 and 4/8, let's think that through. 2/5 is reduced all the way is 4/8. No, we could divide by 4 on the top and divide by 4 on the bottom, and that equals 1/2. So now we're comparing 2/5 and 1/2 on a number line between 0 and 1. These are just fractions in between 0 on its way to 1. So if we think about first five parts in between 0 and 1, we're going to need 4 tick marks. I just hit my smart key, excuse me. Try again. So it just helps to make our 4 tick marks on our number line here. What does that look like? 5 parts from 0 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty evenly matched. I would like to mark 2 of the 5 parts getting from 0 to 1. So I'm going to mark 1, 2. I'm going to make a point at 2 of the 5 parts and getting from 0 to 1. And I'm going to say that is 2/5. Alright, we cannot mark 1/2 on the tick marks we have from 0 to 1 on this number line. We need to consider what is the middle of our number line. So if we consider what is the middle of our number line, we're looking at halfway. It's going to fall about right here to be halfway between 0 and 1. That breaks the number line into 2 parts. 1, 2. Half and half. So it will fall that we mark our point 1/2 on a different tick mark than what we divided for 2/5 originally. So this is where 1/2 falls on our number line. And in comparison, 2/5 is less than 1/2 on the number line. I hope this helps, and I'll see you soon.